Hey, welcome to Estevan TV. I'm at pushgapradio.com.
Pushgapradio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. Pushgapradio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Pushgapradio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Live from Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth, Pushgap.
Ooh, girl, you can't how Dallas, Fort Worth, where this is Jackie.
What up, y'all? This is Jackie
Of Shaka Ford 1 and the main event show.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Something like that.
Shaka Ford 1 and the main event with me, D, Jackie up. Heard exclusively on Pushgap Radio. Giving you true scoops.
PushGapRadios.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome to another edition of Shaka Ford 1 and the main event on PushGapRadios.com. Here's to Joe Lewis this week, Dallas, Fort Worth. T.D. Jakes came down and was talking about black women and why there's a breakup within the black family. Today, we're discussing why black women are the only unprotected group in America. Also, we like to talk about the lack of accountability that black women have for each other, because what you may or may not know is black men hold each other accountable. The past is your lesson. The present is your gift. The future is your motivation. Shaka 401 in the main event on PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby.
To the woman that keeps screaming, I don't need a man, bitch, stay from around me. Stay, I ain't got nothing for you. Stay from around me. Bitches, I don't know about you. I might be great financially, bitch, but I need me a good man. Hand me one of them, please, Lord. Please and thank you. I feel like every time I say, or us women say, we don't need a man for shit, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Bitches, you tripping, bitch. I need me a man, baby. I need me a man physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because guess what? Ben Franklin is not going to hug me at night. Ben Franklin is not going to give me those words of encouragement. Ben Franklin is not going to affirm me and tell me that he's proud of me. Bitch, look, you can keep that strong black ass woman mentality over there. I needs me a man. I don't know about you, baby, but I could use me a good one, baby. Hand me a whole good one that can add to the team, bitch. Listen, you keep that stay from around me. Energy is real, and I don't want that shit to jump off accidentally attack me. I don't know about you, but I need me a good man.
PushGapRadio.com in Dallas and Fort Worth. Welcome back to another edition of Shaka 401 in the main event on PushGapRadios.com. Told you on last week we were going to get into why black women are unprotected. See, on last week, T.D. Jakes dropped that powerful little nugget explaining to black women why they are where they are today. Now, we're going to delve a little bit deeper into Jakes later on, but, you know, Jakes contributed to that, all of these ministers, because they pandered to women. Here's some women saying, well, you know, black men ain't in the church, this, that, and the third. Well, black men used to dominate the church when I was a kid. Just like black men used to dominate the household. When you went over Auntie's house, when you went over Big Ma's house, their house, not their apartment. When you went to their house, it was dominated by the men. There was barbecuing going on. The men were back out there barbecuing. They had the cooler out there with the beer and whatnot in it. You had to check in before you could get a drink. I remember Mr. Valks lived across the street from us. You could go across the street to the Valks house. They have coolers full of beer. They'd be over there barbecuing, this, that, and the third, playing them blues, baby. Like, well, one time, Big Ma was complaining, and my little brother Terrell was listening to her. Oh, Dirty, that's my boy. He live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to him and Tracy. They went to the, I think, Cincinnati or the Cleveland Jazz Festival over the weekend. Big shout out to them. But yeah, Big Mama was saying, yeah, they over there, they playing all them blues, this, that, and the third, making all that noise. Terrell say, yeah, Big Mama, but I see you pat your foot to the music. Okay. But yeah, T.D. Jakes dropped the bomb. Creflo Dollar dropped the bomb about tithing. I knew that as a kid. No way in hell I'm giving you my money, fam. If white Jesus is this powerful, what do you need my little coins for? But black women scream they don't need a man. Now, a lot of this stuff started back in the day with Oprah, Ricky Lake, Sally Jesse Raphael, Donahue, and them. They started this crap. The strong, independent black woman thing. You'll notice when the white feminists started out there in the 60s and 70s, they needed the black women for their numbers. But when they got through marching, they went home to their husbands. Black women took feminism and put it on steroids. The black man wasn't suppressing you. The black man wasn't oppressing you. The black man was not keeping you down. So today, black women, you can't question them. You can't challenge them. And amongst black women, there's no accountability. Now, a lot of you are going to be angry about me producing this show this week today. I really don't care. I really don't. Needs to be said. A lot of this has been going down. Kevin Samuels broke it down for you. Sister SHAHARAZAD Ali has broken it down for you. A lot of people. Minister Louis Farrakhan has broken it down for you. There's no accountability. Anything you say to black women about their behaviors because you don't like your mama, you don't like black women, he can't handle a strong black woman like me. Don't no black man want to go out and fight the world and then have to come home and fight your ass. It's rough enough for me out there. You take submissive the wrong way. I want a man like grandmama had, like my granddaddy. He built this house from the ground up with his own hands. Yeah, but you think that grandma was sitting there watching Young and the Restless. When granddaddy got up, he had breakfast ready. Sometime when he got up, she got up too. Didn't have to go to work, but she got up to be with her husband. Maybe he had some things he needed to talk over. He can't talk to nobody but his gal. There are things I talk to Jackie O about that I don't discuss with other people, my innermost feelings. But yeah, granddaddy had breakfast when he was ready to go. Uniform was clean and pressed. If he lived close to home, when he came home, lunch was ready. If he didn't, grandmama had lunch ready for him. When he came home, the house was clean. Dinner was ready. She didn't start making dinner when he got home. The man was tired. He was providing for his family. The children were squared away. Black women have failed for the okie doke. Because no one yells this shit but you. Oh, I don't need a man. Wooda, wooda, wooda. How did we get here? How did we get here? I'm going to tell you two stories. The first one is that these people years ago did a test. They put a white woman on the side of the highway, put the hood up on the car. Within 10 or 15 minutes, a white man pulled over to help her, to see what the problem was with the car. Next, they put a Hispanic woman out there, put the hood up on the car. 20, 30 minutes later, someone pulled over, a Hispanic guy, to help her. Then they put a black woman out there. And for 2 hours, her ass was on the side of the road with the hood up on the car. Finally, the person who stopped to help her was a white man. Because you're strong and independent. Right now on TikTok, they have this thing going on that I can change my own tire. Now, this one white guy walked past the black chick trying to change her tire because she was trying to get the lug nuts undone. The tire kept spinning. And he yelled out to her, "Hey, you have the jack up too high. You have to put the tire on the ground to loosen the lug nuts." So she did. But she complained about the fact that no one stopped to help her. It's because you strong, independent black woman, right? You don't need no man. Another story about how black women have been duped within the system. There was this brother, and many of you probably either heard a story like this or you know such a story like this. This is black women helping white folk, helping the government to tear apart the black family. This brother was taking care of his kids. He was paying upwards of $800 a month. He'd take his kids to Chuck E. Cheese. He'd take them to Six Flags. Even though he gave her money, he still took them clothes shopping for the experience. You know what I'm saying? I give your mama the money for clothes, but I'd rather have the experience of hanging out with my child and going to get the clothes. See, when my dad went to pay bills, we went with him because JT would buy lunch, okay? We're at the dinner table one day. My mom said, well, how come no one ever wants to go with me when I go to pay the bills? It's because you don't buy lunch, Mom. You always tell me, there's something at home to eat. JT made it an experience. But I digress. So the guy, he was already paying for his children. He was already paying. Breaking bread. And her homegirls and them told him, girl, you need to put him on child support. She said, no, he takes great care of his kid. I don't need, girl, what if he stopped? But bitter bitches. Excuse my French. Bitter bitches. She took him to court. And the court awarded her $250 a month. You let your friends talk you into destroying your black family. It's just sad. See, black men hold other black men accountable. Black women, you all don't do that. Ratchet behavior, dumbass shit that come out your mouth. See, when black men are around other men, because it's not incumbent upon a woman to tell a man what a man is, okay? When I joined Delta Force or the Army Rangers, they never say, well, we're going to see how much of a man you are, seeing if you can pay her rent. Steel sharpens steel. Men tell men whether they're men or not. When you do something stupid around other men, a real man is going to check you, particularly if you my homeboy. You get mad all you want, nigga. You know that ain't right. No, fam, you wrong. Black women don't do that. So where did the destruction of the black family come from? How did women get to where they are, to being unprotected like they are today? Now, I'll tell you about back in the day. How did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. get all these people to march on Washington? There was no social media. This was funded by black men who were carpenters, electricians, bricklayers, drove trucks, things of this nature. You know, where you work with your hands, trades, plumbing. So the white folk got rid of that in our schools. That's gone. So after the civil rights movement, it was like, well, what's the strongest link in the black community? And how do we destroy that link? Strongest link was the black family. So how did we destroy the black family? First, you got to get the man out of the house. That is what we're about to delve into right now. The American welfare policy, it was historically targeted toward poor black families. And the welfare system encourages fatherless families. So why do so many women have so many children if they can't provide for them? The answer is simple. welfare encourages women to have as many children as possible. Not only do taxpayers pay for their births, they also pay for the support in increasing amounts as each child is born. More children you have, the more money we'll give you. So do you want a man or you want a check? Black women chose the check. During the 1930s, when there were proportionately many poor people, the birth rate in the U.S. fell dramatically. People had less babies when things got tight. You have to provide proper incentives to get that man out of the house. Some people have called welfare the largest black feminist organization in U.S. history. I don't know if you were aware of that. It's been shaped by long-standing traditions and by changing economic and social conditions. See, back in 1870, more than half the nation's adult workers were farmers. When white women went to get welfare, the white man did not have to be out of the house. But when black folks start migrating north and whatnot, they figured out, we got to get that man out of there. So we'll give you a check for you and your kids, but you got to get the man out of there. Remember, they used to come in the house and check to make sure there was no evidence of a man living there? 1870, half the nation's adult workers were farmers. In the years that followed, however, industry developed rapidly and the economy tended increasingly to be characterized by industrialization, specialization, and urbanization. The result was a nation of more employees who were dependent on a continual flow of money income to provide for themselves and their families. White farmers. Local villages and towns recognized an obligation to aid the needy when family effort and assistance provided by neighbors and friends were not sufficient enough. Gradually, measures were adopted to provide aid on a more organized basis, usually through cash. These cash allowances to certain categories among the poor, a long and paternalistic history of punitive regulations. As I just explained to you, the classic example of this was the man in the house rule enforced throughout the 1960s for welfare recipients, including those in public housing. So if the government was giving you housing and giving you a check, that nigga got to go. The man in the house rules sought to enforce social norms about who was morally deserving of welfare. Specifically, the rules prevented adult males from residing with the mother and the children who received the assistance. The rules sought to ensure only women with children who at the time were expected not to work benefited from welfare. If there was a man in the house, this was viewed as undeserving of assistance because grown-ass black men were expected to provide for their families through work. The man in the house rules enforced through highly invasive inspections forced many families to choose between maintaining welfare support and keeping their family intact. Racist as usual. Everything in America is racist. So whenever white folk tell you, why you always play the race card, every institution in America is built on damn racism. Do you ever wonder, and I'm getting off topic a little bit here, do you ever wonder why they wanted to cut off the stimulus money to us during the pandemic? Because we're not a homogenous country. I've stated this before. Look at like Austria, Sweden, Germany, perhaps. Those people are Austrians. They're Swedens. They're Germans. They're going to give their people the money. They're going to take care of their people. In America, you have too many cliques. The white people think someone's benefiting from it other than themselves, then, nigga, it's got to go. These are the racist roots of welfare reform. These people know this. They've been studying us for centuries. To survive, you have to work. When you lose your job, you go to social services, welfare. 1994, Bill Clinton instituted welfare reform. Now you can be only on it for 2 years. I learned this from Dr. Claude Anderson. Work, welfare, and then crime. All the manufacturing jobs in America are gone overseas. With everything that happens, white folks are just the last to get hit. Aid to families with dependent children is what this program was called. They thought it would die out across the country as a whole when the economy got better. Now, this was problematic for black Americans because of pervasive racial discrimination in employment back in the 1930s. And, things just got crazy. And trying to adjust my headphones here. Okay, there we go. I have a headphone booster attached to the board. But yeah, back in the 30s and 40s, a lot of racial discrimination among black. I've told you this before. Where do you think unions come from? Unions come from, after slavery, who had all the skills? Black folk. They were the slaves. They were doing the work. But when slavery ended in 1865, white men started unions, and they went to these companies and told them, when you get ready to hire, you hire within this pool. Don't hire them niggas. Don't hire the black guys. What we're discussing here is how black women became an unprotected group. Don't hire the black guys from these other places coming up here from Mississippi and Tennessee and Alabama and whatnot. Don't hire them. It's all in how black women became unprotected. Everything's racial in America. In the 30s and 40s, during these decades, blacks typically worked in menial jobs. Couldn't get the good jobs, a lot like today, where they not trying to bless the black man. I told you on last week's show. The jobs that should have went to black men went to white women. That started the decline of the white man, but I digress. But in the 30s and 40s, this is when blacks typically worked menial jobs and were paid in cash and off the books, making them ineligible for social insurance programs that call for contributions through payroll taxes, both the employer and employees. Now, even under the Aid to Family and Dependent Children Act during these years, told you where this program came from. It was mainly for white widows. They were the primary beneficiaries. The farmer's wife. So blacks continued to be barred from full participation because the country operated under the separate but equal doctrine adopted by the Supreme Court in 1896. Racial. The niggas gonna get it, don't nobody get it. It's not a homogenous country. Too many cliques. Now, got that sun hitting my screen here. Jim Crow laws and the separate but equal doctrine resulted in the creation of a two-track service delivery system in both law and custom. One for whites, one for blacks, but wasn't none of this shit equal. Developments in the 50s and 60s further disadvantaged black families. Talking about how black women became an unprotected group. Residency requirements were proposed so as to bar blacks migrating from the South to the North to qualify for the program. New York City's man in the house rule required welfare workers to make unannounced visits to determine if fathers were living in the home. If evidence of a male presence was found, cases were closed, welfare checks were discontinued. A lot of you remember that. Your grandmama, your aunties, your neighbors, your friends, perhaps your own mom. Perhaps this went on in your own household. The man couldn't keep nothing there. No shoes, no clothes, no shaving equipment, nothing that indicated that a black man lived in this house. Then you remember when Ronald Reagan came along, those of you of a certain age, he coined the term welfare queens. The most notorious example of a welfare recipient turned caricature was Linda Taylor. The media's fascination around Taylor, prolific con artist from Chicago's South Side, gave rise to the term welfare queen in the 1970s. You ever notice when there's welfare fraud, they have up 12 pictures. It's all 12 pictures of white folks. You ever notice that? A lot of you probably don't. You don't much pay attention to what's going on around you. Not disparaging those who do. But Miss Linda Taylor here, she was running a scam on the system. To hell with all the white folk who've been running scams. We're going to pick this one particular black lady, Linda Taylor, out of Chicago's South Side. Now, in his first failed run for president, Ronald Reagan held her up as an embodiment of welfare fraud and government waste. He never explicitly referred to Taylor as a black woman, only nodding to her as a Cadillac driving welfare queen from Chicago. By just saying that dog whistle, folks knew it was a black woman, and she became the face of welfare. The Aid to Dependent Children's Program, that started doing the New Deal back there with Roosevelt. Didn't know if you knew that. And it offered financial assistance to women whose husbands couldn't work, were not around, or were dead. Okay? As I've already stated, poor black women were often rejected when they applied for these benefits and didn't receive them. And if they did, they'd be conditional. Now, at one point, they would cut off the aid to black women in the South during cotton picking season. The assumption was that African American women didn't belong in the home and didn't need to take care of their kids, but they actually belonged in the labor force. Meanwhile, working class whites resented looking at images of those unabashed black welfare recipients pushing for more benefits, more dignity, and more personal autonomy. By the 70s, the welfare rights movement was in a broad decline. See, everything these people do, they throw rocks and want to hide their hand. Oh, it's the blacks. All the jobs out of the country. Oh, it's the blacks. You can't find housing. Oh, it's the blacks. I used to watch Dr. Oz. And one day, this bastard pissed me off about 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm watching Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz, on his show, says that the reason for the opioid epidemic in the white community is because of black folk in the hood. Nigga, please. How that good dope get here? There's a word for it. It's called distribution. Do black people have ships, planes, railroads? It got here from you people. You people put it in our community. Don't remember, if you remember The Godfather, They told them to push the dope in the black community. Give it to the niggas. Whenever white folk want to do their dirt, they come down to the hood. We're talking about why black women are an unprotected group. No, I tend to delve into other things. But by the 70s, the welfare rights movement was in broad decline. More black folks was moving out of the South during the Great Migration. If you recall your grandparents, your great-grands, your two greats. And civil rights activists chipped away at the discrimination in the welfare policy. It became easier to poor black women to get welfare. As long as you kept that man out that house, you get a check. Even though the biggest recipients of welfare were white, as it is today, the association with welfare falls on who? Then they started a backlash against the food stamp program because, again, Reagan made it seem like the abuse to the system was done by black women. And it was Karen them. So in the 60s, a growing percentage of recipients, they say, were black women. And this caused alarm amongst policymakers, amongst people in the press, and ordinary white Americans. Thought the niggas was getting too much. I won't get welfare if it stops the niggas from getting it. Feminism and the child support system. This contributed to the decline of the black family. And black women participated in it. Rather get the bag, even back in the 60s, before the term was coined. Putting black men in the child support system was all designed to destroy the black family after the civil rights movement. Do black women want a check or do you want a man in the house? Black women, y'all made these choices, and this is why we are where we are today. I'm getting to why your ass is unprotected in the community. These are the choices you made. Another one of the white man's tricks. Even when a brother tried to tell you, girl, that's the white man trying to break us up. I don't want to hear that. I got to feed my kids and I got to use the black woman to help get the brother. Because once he can't pay the child support or falls behind, what happens? They throw him in the pokey. Now he loses his job. It's all a game. And the only one ain't getting it is the sisters. I know one thing. If you want to destroy or control a community, you have to dismantle the family. You have to get the man out of the way. The man is the leadership, the provider, the protection, the guidance. You got to get rid of that in the black community. No one else had to do it. The Asians, Samoans, Italians. No one else had to do it but the black family. Get that man out. It was all by design. After the civil rights movement, how are these people so strong? They work with their hands through the trades and the family unit. Now, T.D. Jakes made the statement about black women not needing a man. You've heard it all, so I'm not going to insert the soundbite. But Jake's statement was on point, but it's a little too late to me. Black churches always pandered to black women, not holding them accountable. But now it seems like Jake's and Creflo Dollar, you know, Creflo Dollar was talking about the tithing. See, he don't give a damn about tithing now because he's stupid ass rich. See, as a kid, I couldn't get into tithing. Even as a kid. Again, why would white Jesus need my money? If he's all powerful, all knowing, supreme being. Now, if a lot of you read it yourself, it said for the church to bring the tithes in. What does this mean? It means back in the day, churches used to grow their own food. What the tithing meant was take 10% of the food. Well, take a percentage. They didn't even specify 10. These niggas specified that when they started running the game, 10%. But it meant for the church to take a portion of what they grew, to put it in the storehouse. So when winter came and times got hard, you could disperse it to the people in the community. Not Jake's, but other pastors before him took that shit and turned it on his head. But now they done made they loot. Now you trying to be Kevin Samuels. Now they want to speak out. The black church has been the number one enforcer of the strong, independent black woman doctrine. Number one. They pushed it. Then you wonder why there are no black men in the church. Because black men recognize game when game being ran. They sit out in the congregation listening to the preacher, be like, listen to this nigga, this old ass pimp. Men aren't going to fall for it. I've heard times where a woman has told her husband what the pastor said, and he told her straight to her, if I don't give a damn what that nigga said, pack your shit and go live with him then. I run this. But the church has been the number one enforcer of the strong, independent black woman not needing a man in the household. Black church encouraged this type of behavior, this attitude. And that's why the number of black men in churches declined over the years. Back in the day, men dominated the church, like I told you earlier. When you went to Big Mama and them house, Granddaddy and them there was barbecuing, and it was an equal ratio of man to woman in the household. Today, there are 15, 20, 25 women at the house. There are 4 men there. Men dominated. Not so much today. It's all women. Because that's who the black church empowered. They knew you couldn't run game on these brothers. Because brothers ran the same game growing up to get females. Here's how you talk to a woman. Here's what a woman wants to hear. That's why black men started to date outside of their race. Black women's response is, oh, he must hate his mother. Or he just can't handle a strong black woman like me. Check this out about this chick talking about how she can date outside of her race.
Baby, I can go date an Indian, a Hispanic, a white man. Y'all not the only options out here.
Okay, I want to know what her point was. Because I'm not getting it. You're basically saying that you can go date another race. That's wonderful. But so can black men. What's your point? Black men been doing it. They've been dating outside of their race. Dating white girls. Dating Hispanic. They've been doing it. So what are you trying to say? And then you're saying that black men put themselves on a pedestal. I think if anybody puts themselves on a pedestal, it's black women. So like I said, what's your point? What are you really trying to get at? Because I don't understand it.
Go. Please go. We don't care. Go. If you don't think we're an option, we clearly don't think you're an option. Look at us dating all the races. Now, I'm all for my kind. I believe you should date in your race. But go. Because at the end of the day, they're still men. And they are no different from us. So if you think that outside your race will treat you better, perhaps, but from what I've seen, not so much. Maybe you should change your approach or your attitude or just the spicy way you talking. Just a thought. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Just go, chick. We don't need you if you're not part of the team. See, you're still falling for the same bullshit that these white folk is running on us. The man is here to tell you, sweetie, here's the game. You don't want to hear that. You think you know. You don't. It's not for the woman to tell you what a man is. A man tells a man whether he's a man or not. I can tell you what I think a woman is, but that's only the kind of woman I like. Same thing with a woman. You're talking about the type of man that you like, sweetie. Iron sharpens iron. Steel sharpens steel. It takes a man to let a man know that he's a man or not. He can't handle a strong woman like me. No man looking to marry another dude. We don't both need to be in here fighting to be the lead. I don't want to have to go fight the world and come home and fight my girl. Who in the hell wants to deal with that? But the black church encourages this behavior. You don't need a man. Did black women ever ask themselves why the LGBT community pushed so hard to get married? Did you ever wonder why these people want to get married so bad? Because they know what your dumb ass don't know. To be successful, it takes two. Now, you can think you're successful because you're a single mom. Chick, that's failure. Success is a man and a woman the way the Most High designed it in the beginning of time, long before you got here and long after you're dead. The white folk told you to do a certain something. Told you to quit spanking your children, and look where your kids are today. Gay or headed to prison. Why you think the gays push so hard to be married? There's a reason for that. I can do bad by myself. Who the hell wants to do bad? Listen to this, that young lady.
The I'm an independent, strong black woman, I don't need no man narrative is a scam. Here's why. Society has conditioned us to believe that we don't need anybody, we don't need any support, and we can do it all on our own. What a lot of us has accepted as normal is really not normal. Households were created to be two adults and children. The price points that the world is set in now requires two incomes. That's why you're working two jobs. And if we are not working two jobs, we have told ourselves that we have to go back to school, get higher education so we can make more money, which is a necessity. But wouldn't it be better if you had a whole team member helping you along? So we cut off all men who are not making at least six figures. We tell our baby daddies we don't need them because you're not able to pay us substantial child support. So my kids don't need you. And we don't realize that our black men offer so much more than just their financial provision. They offer protection. They offer guidance. They offer leadership. They offer a masculine energy that absolutely depletes you when you have to provide that. You are created to be feminine. You are created to be the nurturer. You were created to be soft and loving. And we are having to play both roles because we are not allowing any man in out of fear that we're going to get the wrong men.
Yeah, be good to have some help, huh? You have to do everything by yourself. That's why I like the lady at the beginning of the program. I'm looking for a man. I need a man. If you go to YouTube, go to Push Gap TV 1. We just put up a Ghetto Prophets deal about her saying the same something. Who wants to do bad by themselves? Wouldn't you rather have some help? Marriage is for when you get older. Because sex comes out of the equation. It's more about companionship. Do you know the women who aren't going to get a man? They have a dog. You can say what the hell you want. It was that way before your ass got here. It's that way while you're here. And when your ass dead and gone, for companionship, a woman will get a dog. Her husband dies and she becomes a widow. She's going to get a dog. If she ain't going to get no damn man in her life, she's going to get a dog. Why? One word, companionship. you can do bad by yourself. Don't do so bad when it's two of you, huh? A real man gonna go out and get it. This is why black women are unprotected.
A lot of you don't want to be protected by the black man. You know how I know? As soon as you're going out with your friends and he asks you, where are you going? Oh, why do you need to know? What does it matter to you? Or let him try to check up on you. Let him say, oh, what time are you coming in tonight? Or I want you to be home by a certain time. Then it's, oh my gosh, you doing too much. You so controlling. Oh my gosh. No, it's called protection. You guys claim you want things from the black man, but you want it according to your standards. You want to call the shots. You want to do what you want to do and how you want to do it. But that's not how it works. God forbid something goes down. He needs to know where you are so he can come get you. God forbid you go missing. He knows the last place you were. But you're not worried about that. You're too busy having a hot girl summer to notice that. Protection from the black man may look very different from what you want it to be. He may want you home by a certain time. He may want you to check in every now and then. Oh, y'all not gonna like this one. He might even tell you to change your outfit. Ooh, you ain't my daddy. Don't ask for their protection if you're just gonna fight every request they make of you. You can protect yourself since you want to be all strong.
Don't nobody want to do bad. Black women, you've been tricked, you've been duped, you've been hoodwinked. The biggest supporter of single moms and not getting married to build a family structure has been the black church, and it's been a lie the whole time. Them people just wanted their money. See, in the black church, you're not allowed to talk about building businesses or building your community up or the family structure. The Jews do it. How come where these mega churches are, it's in the most deplorable neighborhoods? How come they don't pass the collection plate in order to go clean up their own neighborhood or build businesses or buy apartment buildings or build apartment buildings for those who can't afford this high-ass rent? You're not allowed to talk about such things in the black church. That's why they talk about the prosperity doctrine. It's all about prosperity, but the prosperity is only for them. Don't talk about the family structure. All we have today in the black community is the hookup culture. It takes families to build a community. All we have is black neighborhoods. We ain't got no damn communities. How did black women become an unprotected group? Let's look at Buffalo, New York. The nail shops where the Asians are. Buffalo, New York with the mass shooting. The guy went there because he knew that it was unprotected black women, old folk, and kids. That's why Dylan Roof went to that black church in South Carolina. Knew there wasn't going to be no one there to really stop him. And if you got a man in church, he probably ain't got no gun because he waiting on white Jesus. Still falling for the bullshit, huh? In Buffalo, New York, in South Carolina with Dylan Roof in that church, if they wanted to kill some black folk, why didn't they go down on the block where Pookie and Ray Ray and them were? Because you was going to meet resistance. Them niggas got guns. But you have to understand in these situations that these white people feel comfortable today coming into black hoods by themselves. Why? They know that the black community is mostly comprised of women. Because black men have been excluded and ostracized. See, back in the day, black men were able to deter this type of behavior from the white boys. They had to come in groups because they knew they had to fight the men. Now, a lot of times we were conquered because you got the law and the military on your side as a white boy. But the brothers stood up. They knew they had to fight men. Not today. Had to be a whole lot of them white boys to come into our world back then with granddaddy and great-granddad. The Klan, they had to come in force back then. Doing granddaddy in them time. They always had to pull off the surprise attack because, you know, white folks is mediocre and cowards anyway. That's why I have to do everything in groups. Look at the Uvalde, Texas school shooting. Why don't you run your bitch ass up in there? You had guns. You had a vest. This one dude was on the phone. I come to find out from Jackie O, his damn wife worked up in there. It took you folks an hour. And then you don't want to talk about the Hispanic guy who went in there. The Hispanic man who went in there to defend his family, his wife, his kid. Would a black man have come to save you? So why were the black men there back in the day, but they're not here today? Because only the black woman is invested in this stupid-ass gender war that today leaves black women unprotected. You're the only unprotected group around here. Asian women, Hispanic women, white women, everybody know a man is coming to protect them. You slap the shit out of a white woman, here come a white man. You mess with some Hispanic's mama or grandmama or wife or girlfriend, here come SA, nigga. Everybody know. The Asians. Everybody know a man is coming. But you strong and independent. But I promise you, that ain't gonna stop them white boys from coming to the hood to level attacks against you. See, the white boys ain't afraid of no strong, black, independent woman. You say you don't need a man. Look at you now. You're just not understanding or realizing that you're not just leaving yourself unprotected, but you're leaving the sisters who would like to have a man unprotected. Because so many of you scream that, we overlook all of you. Muhammad Ali said it best. If 1,000 snakes are coming toward me and 100 of them are non-venomous, do I stand there and pick out the 100 or do I shut the door on all of you? That's black men and black women today. Check this out.
Ain't nobody blaming you for going to that little raggedy community college of yours. Ain't nobody mad at you for going to get that little $60,000 a year job of yours. Ain't nobody mad at you for that. What we mad at you for is that you stepped on black men and children to get there. That's what we mad about. That you didn't care about the destruction of the family to get there. That's what we mad about. That you threw the black community under the bus that you were supposed to be part of in order to get it. And that you did it with a smile on your face. And then you did it with arrogance. You gave black men and black children your butt to kiss for 70 years. That's why we're angry with you. We don't care about that $30,000 CNA job of yours. We don't care. Thank you, Ed Davey. Thank you, Devon. We ain't care about none of that. What we care about is your consistent buying into the American nightmare and killing us on the back end of it. That's what we mad about. That's what we keep calling you to the carpet about. That's why the conversation don't go no further, because we can't get past your lack of accountability there.
Yeah. You decimated the black family to get what you wanted. Selfish. But, again, there's no accountability. Anytime someone says something to a black woman, she gets all up in her damn feelings. And you think someone's knocking you. Again, teaching our daughters that same shitty behavior. Teaching this crap to our little boys. They're either going to be effeminate or they're going to be gangsters. You ever watch The Wire? There was the kid that had all the hair. He used to put it in a ponytail. Forget his name. I love The Wire. His dad was in prison for selling drugs. His mom was forcing him to go out there and do what the dad did. Had dad been around, he'd have tried to keep his son from that. You don't want your child to be involved in the bullshit that you're involved in. You're trying to take care of the family and make a better life. Dad would have had his ass in school somewhere, but not mama. Mama trying to make him her man. This is why black women are the only unprotected group around. Your sisters who'd like to have a man, they're unprotected due to your behavior, your actions, your narrative. Everybody in America know your ass ain't protected. That's why it's easy to come for you. Going to continue to be easy to come for you. How do people know black women are unprotected? Because y'all stand on the highest mountaintops and announce it to the world and to all who will listen about how strong and independent, which means alone and unprotected, that you are. Black women, you put yourself in this predicament. No other group of women says this but you. I don't need no man. I can do it by myself. A man can't do nothing for me. Why do the white feminists, out of all the marching and shit they talk about, go home to their husbands? Again, you took feminism and put it on steroids. Wasn't no black man suppressing or oppressing you. Wasn't no black man holding you back. When that woman got through marching, she went home to her man. There's a TikTok challenge going on now, changing tire challenge. Told you earlier in the program that the one black girl was trying to change her tire. She's trying to turn the lug and the tire keeps spinning. She's got the jack up too high. You got to break the lug, sweetie, before you let the car up. Then this one chick, she makes a video about changing tires. All she showed at the end was that you tighten the lug nuts with your finger. And the video ended. Chick, you gonna kill somebody or yourself. You better take that lug wrench and tighten them damn lugs on there before that tire falls off. The lug is gonna come loose due to the vibration on the road. You gotta tighten it. You don't need a man. See, a man is not just financial. When that wind hitting your front door, that man there blocking that wind. But because you want to live the life of Oprah Winfrey and Cardi B and all these other dumbass chicks, if he ain't providing the bag, then he got to go. Well, people bring more to the game than just finances, fam. They bring more to the game. Now, the girl in the TikTok challenge for changing the tire, she gets upset that once she can't get it, there didn't no man come to help her. For what? You strong and independent. You can't be strong and independent when you want to. Then when you need help, you want me to come around. It doesn't work that way. Either you need my help or you don't. So you all get put in the same basket. Even the lady who would like to have a man. Because these black chicks be screaming, you don't need a man. Then the brother sees her. He thought, well, she's strong and independent. She don't need me. In Buffalo, New York, that boy knew that it'd be more women and old folk in there than men. He knew you wasn't armed, which means you're vulnerable. It's the men. And all y'all want to scream is toxic masculinity. I bet if a nigga kicking your dough in at 3 in the goddamn morning, you want some toxic masculinity in your life. I bet you want it then. Someone knocks on the door at 3 in the morning. Are you looking to go answer the door? Or is he going to the door? And when they hear that bass in that voice, who is it, nigga? What you need? The hell you doing at my damn door? The guy on the other side's going to answer, oh, well, and if it ain't a family member or a real close friend, he probably got that thing in his hand. But here you come to the door. Who is it? Ice Cube come to pay a little visit to you. And what's up with them niggas in the parking lot? I love Once Upon a Time in the Projects. But yeah, you let someone else lead you to it. The brothers was probably trying to tell you back in the 60s that was the game. You didn't want to hear it. The government was providing you a check. Free place to live. Rent was $2 a month. And you 4 months behind. You want a man that's 6'5", making 6 figures a year. Never dawned on you that grandmama and them got with that man when he had nothing and helped him build. So even if he left her, she got half, Eddie, half. You vulnerable and unprotected. No protection. They can come assault you because there's no retaliation. There are no men coming. That's why them Asians be beating y'all ass in them stores and in them nail shops all the time. Why? Because they know your ass ain't got no man and ain't no man coming to save you. So they feel empowered and comfortable. And y'all still go back to spend your money with them. They just beat your mama or your grandmama's ass yesterday. You back here spending more money. You remember that one wig shop 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago? Time flies. The Asians beat this chick with a stick in the wig shop. The black man went down there the next day, and the line to get in the store with the black women was around the corner. Remember that? You still go back to spend your money with the people who are highly disrespecting you. See, men are there to point this out to you. Girl, we ain't spending another dime around there. Okay. I recall a story that I kind of watched over the weekend on YouTube. This girl was saying that this friend of hers, see, this is men, because it works the same way with women. Her husband told her, that chick ain't your friend. Oh, well, he just don't like her because she's single. She ain't got no kids, this, that, and the third. So one day she calls the girl because she had to go stay with her one day when she got into an argument with her husband. So months later, she calls the girl, and the girl was talking to her boyfriend. The girl thought she had clicked back over to her boyfriend. And she went on and was dogging this chick out. Talked about this chick like a damn dog. After a few minutes, the chick was like, hello? The girl sit there and listen. She said, well, I think you need to click over and tell your boyfriend all the shit you just told me. And it dawned on her. See, when my mama told me that she didn't like a particular girl, I would kick the chick to the side because I knew even as a young man, my mom could see something that I couldn't see. It wasn't that my mom didn't like you. My mom was looking out for me. Okay. But they know there are no men coming to protect you because you done told the world you don't need no man. Thus, you don't need any protection. You can date anybody. No, you can't. As a black woman, you don't raise the status of any other culture of men. You just don't. They say that about black men, but they flock to the brothers. Other cultures see you as hood rats and baby mamas. That's because the hood rats and baby mamas are the ones that are out there projecting your image. So that's how they see you. Now, a lot of you are not going to like this. I drive a city bus here in Dallas. And when I drive around, there are clubs and restaurants down there. You'll see a group of Hispanic women, but there are Hispanic men standing there with them. See a group of white women, but there's a group of white men down there with them. There's a place called True Kitchen and Cocktails. Groups of black women The Majestic Theater is next door to it. They have plays and concerts and whatnot there. And whenever you go there, huge groups of black women. Where are the men? You'll see a few of the brothers there with their girl. But normally it's just huge groups of black women. Where are the men? People see your ass is unprotected. They already know. It's nothing you can hide. Back in the day, again, with granddaddy, great-grand them, white folk knew they had to get through the brothers first to get to you. Back in the day, black men died because you say, well, where are the men? These men ain't shit. This, that, and the third. Back in the day, black men died protecting their land, their families, their wives, their children, and their communities. Brothers gave their lives to protect because that was their job to do as a man. But you just wanted the bag. You didn't think about protection from the oppressor, protection from the enemy. So today, black women, your ass is a target. You easy pickings for any and everybody from other communities. They can do what they want with you. Ain't no man coming. They can do whatever they want in any shape, form, or fashion because your ass is unprotected. And you did it to yourselves. The brothers tried to be there. See, being in love ain't about these butterfly feelings that you think they're about. This is not a Disney movie. I recall Big Mont telling me when I was a kid, well, when you get with somebody, baby, make sure she can cook, because when you're courting, as they called it back in the day, when you're courting, you're going to go out to eat and whatnot. But after that, life settles in. Somebody better know how to cook. We can't go out and eat all the time. In our community, we've got away from building things together. To the black woman, he needs to already have it. Well, if I already got it, what I want you for? You got 3 kids by 2 different baby daddies. You got all this long blonde ass weave hanging down your ass. You don't look feminine at all. I don't care about you getting mad. I see this while I'm at work every day. The Hispanic girls, they look just as sexy and feminine. The white girls, and I ain't even into white women, they look just as sweet and sexy and cute and feminine. Then you see the sisters. Look like linebackers for the Dallas Cowboys. All this weave hanging down your ass. These long ass eyelashes. How long the hell are these eyelashes gonna get? And you teaching our little girls this same bullshit. See, that's why you need the black man in the household. The black man is not gonna tell the little girl that her hair is nappy, that she got bad hair, that she too dark skinned, or that she's cute for a black girl. He's going to treat her like his little princess, because that's what she is. Her first interaction with a man comes from her dad. And a lot of men aren't in their kids' life because of the mama's feelings. Because you done got caught up in the crap that they talk out here in white media. And now you done got caught up in the crap that they talk on social media. Okay, he can't do nothing for me. Because all you look at is money. We used to love people and like things. Now we like people and love things. It's all about money. And it's more to life than money. You remember the old adage, money can't buy happiness? Money can't buy everything. Your dumb ass don't believe that. These people can do whatever the hell they want to you because you're unprotected and you did it to yourselves. And you keep doing it to yourselves. When these white boys start coming with these guns into your community, all that feminist crap goes out the window. And you can't run to the white boys for help because it's Zaddy the one doing it to you. This chick talking about she can go date an Indian. She can go date a white boy. No other racial group of men care enough about you to come risk their life or their family to save you. He protecting his own women. Time to tighten up, black women. Time to tighten up. I don't give a damn if you don't like this. The brothers have their part, but brothers hold each other accountable. Black men hold each other accountable. I will tell you when you're doing wrong and don't give a damn about you getting mad. You can't tell a black woman a damn thing. And the black church encouraged that. We are where we are today because of the black church, feminism, and welfare. Again, Oprah Winfrey, Ricky Lake, and them started this shit back in the 80s. Black women are unprotected. Now Jakes wants to speak out. TD Jakes. They pushed that narrative that you didn't need a man. You do bad by yourself. How come they wasn't doing that in the Asian community? I don't need no man. Why weren't they doing that in the Hispanic community? Everybody has a man by their side but you because you believe that the only thing a man can do is produce some damn money. Life is bigger than that. The universe is bigger than that. There are some things money just can't buy. Like old girl told you up front, them check stubs ain't gonna hold you at night. Ben Franklin is not going to encourage you. And the woman that will never have a man has a dog. Told you about that woman's test out on the highway. Put the black girl out there for 2 hours. No one came to help her. Because you're a strong, independent black woman. Finally, a white man came along. You help the government to incarcerate the brothers by putting them on child support. When a whole lot of brothers were already taking care of their own kids. You keep buying into the bullshit because you too stupid to know what's going on. You applaud the death of brother Kevin Samuels when he was trying to help you. Maybe you didn't like the messenger, but did you get the message? You black women are not accountable. I don't give a damn that you mad. Give a damn you don't want to hear it. Until you change your ways. Let me explain something to your dumb ass. Do you know why these boys walk around here with their pants sagging off their ass? Because you as a woman accept that. What if no black woman talked to a nigga whose pants was hanging off his ass? What would he do? Probably pull them damn pants up, huh? You change the behavior. A man has a nice house and a nice car because women like a nice house and a nice car. No man has ever come over my house and say, wow, this is a real dump. Men don't care. I may joke about your car, but you got a car to get you from point A to point B. Black women have got so caught up in the crap. You got to get out of this mindset. It's bigger than the individual. You, black woman. It's bigger than you. Our families and communities are being torn down because you're buying into the system. You're buying into the bullshit. The systems were put in place to destroy us. The black man tries to point that out to you and you don't want to hear it. Can't tell you nothing. There's no accountability amongst you. And it's sad. We're all in this together. Here's Rizza Islam to explain that.
So what happened? We were destroyed systemically. That's my point. And right now what we have to stop doing is pointing at each other because we're both victims of this damn system. Why the hell don't you have the same smoke for the system that destroyed you and your whole group of people? Nobody wants to point at that because it's easier to point at my brother. Just like it's easy for her to point at me and me to point at her. That's easy because you ain't got no damn smoke for your enemy. Right. You really are telling me that the situation that we are in, we caused it? All of us, we just completely caused it. No. Yes, we perpetuate it right now. We need to take responsibility for that. The sisters need to take responsibility for it. The brothers got to take responsibility for it. But in order for us to truly hold ourselves accountable, we have to look at the system that is in place, perpetuating it and helping us to be benefited for perpetuating it. Stop calling her in public. Stop calling them a nigga. Stop attacking each other in front of the enemy system on a continuous basis. But you don't point at them. I don't get this.
Yeah. We got to start working together, the brothers and the sisters. Got to start working together. We need to sit down and look at the entire picture for what it is. These people are out to destroy us. Black women, you're not the enemy. Black men are not the enemy. Them white folks is the enemy. Now, you may disagree. Malcolm X already told you, these white folks media will have you loving your oppressor and hating those that look like you. That's why we touched on abortion last week. Abortion was designed by Margaret Sanger to eradicate black folk. Child support, welfare, and feminism. Done an amazing job. You notice every time something happens to a black woman, where are the feminists? These folks done enacted policies to preserve their preserve their survival. Part of their survival is getting rid of us.
Black women are above criticism right now, and I don't know why that is or where it came from, but it needs to stop because this is why you're seeing us run amok and it's not helpful. This is why black women can be shaking their ass in a restaurant, and when the owner tries to correct them, they go and ruin his Yelp review. This is why you can see Keisha Lance Bottoms tearing up Atlanta with an understaffed police force and high crime, but no one will say anything about her. This is why Cori Bush and people like Stacey Adams are being heralded as the epitome of black excellence when they could really be poster children for obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. This is why Joe Biden could have spoken to any woman in America that he wanted to, but he talked to Cardi B, who could barely string a sentence together, but no one wanted to say anything because she's a black woman. This is why you have single black women having children, having child after child, but no one wants to say anything as she screams, "I don't need a man," while she teaches your daughters these same values and raise your sons to be gangbangers and no one wants to say anything to black women. This is exactly why I myself hold back a lot, because I know that there's a group of black women that would have a problem with what I have to say. But this is why right now I don't care. But I am saying that black men need to start standing up and correcting the black woman, because if not, we are doomed, because it's time out for us not having correction. It is time out for y'all causing all black women to look like immoral, materialistic assholes.
We got to do better. Thank you for logging in. Please like and subscribe to the show. Also, don't forget to check out the Ghetto Prophet series at Push Gap TV 1 on YouTube. Leave a comment. Please subscribe. We're trying to get our subscriptions up. Please subscribe to the program. We're trying to work to make it better. Don't necessarily know if we always do that, but We're trying to make it better, so we need your help to do that. Thank you for those who log in and check us out on every week. Those of you who subscribe to the podcast, we thank you so very much. So very much. But yeah, like, comment if you can. If there's something about this that you like or something that you don't like, nary a damn do we give. Just leave a comment. We're asking for your help. We're humbly asking for your help. Never average, never mediocre. Online, on point, and on the money. In Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Pray until something happens. God always provides. At pushgapradios.com, the power is in the name. See you next week, and we're out. Dallas, baby.
Pray until something happens. God always provides. At pushgapradios.com, the power is in the name.
You just shot to number 1 on your internet radio dial. Shackle Forward 1 in the main event only on pushgapradios.com.
PushGapRadio.com, bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.